Today, I'm going to be making one buff slash rework for every hero. Some buffs are more serious than others, and I'll let you argue with the ones that you're supposed to take serious. Just like the last video, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go check it out when nerf slash rework for every hero. With that out the way, let's get started in alphabetical order as usual. Starting off with Ana, she can nano herself. I mean, why not? Like, I think that's reasonable. It just makes sense. Ashe, 1 extra ammo. As for previous video reasons and histories, I don't really like hit scan. So 1 extra ammo, you don't really need anything else on hit scan. Bat, I couldn't really think of too much for Bat. He's pretty balanced, but also pretty good. So only thing I can think of was something a little bit more quality of life, technically, unless you really do struggle to hit the healing thingies. So no gravity arc on the heal torpedo missile things. Actually doesn't have a name. Bastion, 10 more armor. I think Bastion's pretty big and pretty slow, and he's one of those situations like Maga where he's supposed to be big, slow, but do a lot of damage. So I think a little bit more armor would probably be a good buff for him. Brig is known to be that situational support who kind of sits and defends her teammates, so let's make the defending a little bit more valuable and reliable with 50 more shield HP, because I think that helps her take on dives and brawls just a little bit better without having to give her extra armor, which would kind of screw some things up. Cass, 1 extra ammo. Yeah, I'm doing this for all the hit scans, so be ready for it. Diva, micro missiles deal 163 damage per volley on direct hit. Previously they did like 150 something. I thought just maybe a little bit more would be better, especially in higher rank. You notice Diva can't really kill people on her own. For my high rank players maybe out there. Yeah. Doom, 1 extra second of ult. I think Meteor Strike should have 1 extra second just to give like a little bit more leeway and, you know, just decision making time, so you can choose what you want to do. It is an ult after all. Echo, Echo does a lot of damage. It's pretty good, so only thing I could think of was something a little bit more utility wise was fly faster, because it's one of the flyers, so why not just fly faster? Be harder to hit, I guess. Freya, no bloom. My thought process for this was, why give a projectile hero bloom when they're already projectile in the first place and have no hit scan options? Unlike Sojourn, whose primary fire is, you know, projectile, yeah, but it has bloom. But she also has a secondary fire that is hit scan, a very strong form of hit scan. Genji, deflect resets after kills during ult. I thought about this because having deflects regularly just reset would be kinda OP, but if it's during the ult, then I think that's a little bit more balanced, because you're getting it only every minute or two that you can do something that crazy. Hanzo, Dragon Strike travel speed increased of 10%. I don't know the exact numbers for Hanzo's Dragon Strike travel speed, so I think 10% faster shouldn't hurt anything. It's kind of slow, and a lot of the time people will just look at it and be like, oh yeah, there's a Hanzo ult. Steps to the side. So yeah. Hazard, once again, Hazard's just one of those weird new heroes I don't really know too much about, and to be honest, I think a little bit more ammo could help him. He has like a shotgun kind of thing going on, 8 bullets. I think a little bit more ammo would do him some good. Alari is one of those weird situations, because before she was really valuable and really good. Now everyone puts her at the bottom of tier list. Why? I think it's because of her weird damage. Like, she does big bursts of damage, but can't exactly do it consistently because she has a charge or something. And she's also supposed to be one of those DPS support, because once you're out of heals, they want you to shoot and rely on byline. So what I thought of was critical in damage increased from 1.5 to 1.60. I did this because I don't think her base damage should be increased, because she's not really a DPS per se. Junker Queen, Shout lasts 1 second longer. I think Shout is a pretty decent ability, but it doesn't last just enough in my opinion. I think this 1 extra second will help you register things better with your team. Junkrat's another one of those oddball heroes that doesn't really need any fixing. I mean, he's just Junkrat. He's annoying, but I think 1 more ammo would do him some justice, because this current ammo he has right now, it just feels off. Like, actually, I think this is probably the ones I'm a little bit more serious about, even though I do, personally I hate Junkrat. He's annoying because he just kills you randomly without even trying. But I do think one more bullet just kind of feels right. It feels like a rhythm thing that's missing. Juno. Torpedo travels 10% faster to critical health allies. I think the use of Torpedo is honestly a strange one, but I do think it could be a little bit more I need to save multiple teammates kind of thing, maybe? Because other than that, you can really just hold your primary fire and get results faster, in my opinion. Kiri. A lot of people do complain about Kiri's Ofuda, how it travels a little bit too slow, or very slow in some cases. You have to pre-fire a lot, and I do think that's a little bit of a strange mechanic. Kiriko does fall on the DPS side of the support roster, but a lot of people say she's a main healer as well. She also does have Suzu. So it put me in a bit of a pickle coming up with this, but I do think the Ofuda should travel a little bit faster. Makes it a little bit less clunky, because you don't have to sit there and pre-fire on heals when you should be doing damage. Lifeweaver. Manual charge time reduced from 1.2 to 0.9 seconds. I think Lifeweaver, being the heal body shouldn't be this slow to charge up a heal that only does 80 per burst. It's kind of strange to me. Lucio. I always say this in almost every video I've made playing with the Lucio or against the Lucio or something. Lucio is not heals. He is, like, by definition, a support, because all he does is give speed. He's just speed. That's all he does. So I think a little buff would be great, because some people think Lucio is such a great healer. Make it to where when he uses amp, 20% extra healing for critical health allies. That way he could do the save allies thing that support are known for. Maga. I couldn't even think of a buff for Maga because he actually just doesn't need one. He's kind of a public nuisance to Overwatch lobbies. So I did a funny and I decided Maga can fly during ult. Mei. 1 second more of Cairo freeze. I think, you know, just 1 extra second will help you do whatever you're doing inside of the ice. I really don't know. Mercy. I thought it was really strange that Angelic Resurrection gives you 100 overhealth while you, like, not while you do resurrect, but after it. I don't really know how that's supposed to help. I think during would be better, because while you're sitting there still, that's when people are actually going to be shooting you. Moira can use orb during ult. I mean, from my perspective, it looks like she has a hand free during coalescence, so why not just throw like an orb or two? I don't know. I mean, you can technically do it before, but why not? Orisa. Defense protocol from 100 to 125 per second. Pharah. Slow fall speed from 8 to 6 MPS. So I did this because Pharah, the new fuel rework system, I think it's like straight doo-doo butter. But hey, who am I to judge Blizzard and their decisions with heroes? I just think, you know, if Pharah fell, what am I trying to say here? If Pharah fell down a little bit slower, she'd be better. Ram. 10% less ultimate costs. I think that's reasonable, because we haven't done any ult reductions or things yet. Reaper. 5% more lifesteal. I think Reaper does need just a tad bit more lifesteal in my opinion, because he's not much of a tank buster anymore. He's like a super duelist, but everyone does a lot of damage and has more health now. Rhine. Ignited Fury increased from 25% to 35%. Roadhog. Take your breather cooldown reduced by 1%. Wait, why is that on the script as 1%? I think I meant to reduce it by 1 second because it felt clunky. That it was like 2 second cooldown between breaths. Yeah, that. Sigma. Hyper Strike lasts 1.5 seconds longer. I think the little melee thing to make people levitate would be a little bit better if it like lasted a little bit longer, so it actually had a chance to do something, like get somebody off the map or something. Sojourn. 1 extra ammo. Soldier. 1 extra ammo. Sombra. Not available. Sim. Range from 12 to 15 meters on primary fire. I think that'd just be pretty cool, you know, because think about it. If Moira, the support hero, can auto aim suck people from, you know, across the country, I think the DPS beam hero should be able to shoot a little bit further too. Thorb. 25 HP converted to armor. I mean, let's make this super wide and hittable short dude like a little bit tankier, I guess. Why not? Tracer. I think Tracer runs out of ammo really fast during duels, in my opinion. So I think, 10 more ammo would be kind of cool. Venture. 2 extra ammo. I think Venture shoots pretty fast as well. So a little bit more ammo would be cool. Widow. Widow is very killable, honestly, in most dive situations. So you're better off swapping, but I think if you are just the type of guy that stays during dive, 25 HP would probably make you smile. Winston. 60 to 75 damage on direct leap. I think direct leaping onto somebody should be rewarded and give Monkey a little bit more space making potential and, just make it more threatening in general. Ball. 20 more ammo. I think Ball shoots extremely fast, but honestly, you probably won't even be using, your gun that much if you're one of those, swing guys that swing all game or something. But hey, I think 20 more ammo would be great for the people that do know the little combo and how to aim and shoot. Zarya. Energy converter increased from 3 to 5. I think this would help because the 3 runs out a little too fast in my opinion, and it is a major perk. I think it might have been minor. I think it was major, but hey, yeah, I think 5 is way better. Zenyatta. LOS loss duration increased from 1.5 to 3 seconds. I think somebody just like step into the left a little bit behind a wall, and then you can't use your ability on them for the next almost 10 seconds. I think is kind of silly. So I think they should have to stay behind the wall just like twice as long. That way they can't just like sit there and do that in the middle of a fight. It's just silly to me. Last but not least, Wu Yang. Charge time reduced from 3 to 2.75 seconds. I think the Wu Yang thing where you have to be a little bit further away for you to get a charge primary is a little bit silly, because you're kind of just gonna get bullied if they get in your face. So I think this would help just a little bit, but I do get what they're going for, so I'm not gonna completely rework and change it. And with that, we are done with this video. I think you guys seem to really like the last one. It did pretty good in terms of my channel, so if you have any more ideas, please let me know in the comments. I always listen and love what you guys have to say. These do take a lot of prep to make, but not necessarily hard, so they're pretty fun. Now if we were to continue this little shabam, I would have to do like a 1 rework for every hero. Now that would take a pretty long while. That would take a lot of thinking and brain power. So I'm only doing that if this video somehow gets to 30 likes. How about that? Yeah. And hey, if you've made it to the end of the video, you might as well subscribe because you clearly like the content here, and it supports me a lot, and it's free for you to do. But anyways, that's enough yap for me. I'm gonna